Hello, Prof. K and class. I am Sarah Cooper, and this is my MIS 603 Information Security and Risk Management Unit 8 oral presentation. For my case study, I have selected a multinational corporation called XYZ Inc. It operates in the financial services industry. The organization has a workforce of approximately 10,000 employees spread across various global locations. The company's operations are heavily reliant on digital platforms and cloud-based systems, making it a prime target for cyber threats. And now I will go through the case study. Currently, XYZ Inc. uses a single-factor authentication system, primarily password-based, for its internal and external digital platforms. This system, while simple and user-friendly, has proven to be increasingly vulnerable to cyber attacks. The company has experienced several instances of unauthorized accesses, leading to data breaches and significant financial losses. Given the sensitive nature of the financial data that XYZ Inc. handles, the company is under constant scrutiny from regulators and stakeholders to ensure the highest level of security. Moreover, the increasing sophistication of cyber threats and the rising trend of remote work due to the COVID-19 pandemic have further amplified the need for robust security measures. As the CISO of XYZ Inc., I believe a multi-factor authentication implementation is necessary for several reasons. Firstly, MFA provides an additional layer of security by requiring users to provide 2 or more verification factors to gain access to the resources. This significantly reduces the likelihood to successfully cyber attack. It adds an extra layer of protection, making it harder for attackers to gain access to sensitive information. Secondly, MFA can help the company comply with various regulatory requirements related to the data security in the financial industry. And lastly, implementing MFA can enhance the company's reputation by demonstrating its commitment to protecting customers and employee data. And now I will move on to talk about the scope of implementation. The scope of the MFA implementation includes all digital platforms and systems used within XYZ Corporation. This includes but not limited to email systems, internal database, cloud services, and any other systems that require user authentication. I will now move on to some constraints and limitations. Some of the constraints and limitations encountered are as follows. User adaptability. One of the potential constraints could be the adaptability of the user to the new system. It may require training and time for users to get accustomed to the MFA process. Technical challenges. There may be technical challenges during the implementation phase. such as integration with existing system, which could impact the scope. The cost is another constraint. The cost of implementation and maintaining the MFA system could also be a constraint, depending on the financial resources of the corporation. The MFA implementation aims to enhance the security and user experience while reducing the risk of cyber threats. However, it's important to consider potential constraints and limitations during the planning and implementation process. This slide, I'll discuss an overall impact on the XYZ Inc. Corporation. Implementing MFA will impact various aspects of XYZ Corporation's infrastructure and system. For example, the network infrastructure. MFA implementation will affect the network infrastructure, including VPNs, firewalls, and routers. These systems will need to be configured to support MFA protocols. Cloud service. The organization uses a cloud-based service. These will also need to be configured for MFA. This includes both administrative access and user access to these services. Email systems. Email systems are a common target for cyber attacks. Therefore, MFA should be implemented for all email access, including webmail and email clients. In this slide, I will look into the practical implementation and recommendation. Considering the XYZ Corporation case study, MFA implementation provides valuable insight into the practical implications of adopting such a security measure. For example, enhanced security. MFA adds an extra layer of security by requiring users to provide at least one or two forms of identification before they can access sensitive data. This makes it harder for unauthorized individuals to gain access to the systems, even if they have one form of identification, such as password. Risk management. MFA can significantly reduce the risk of data breaches. If a password is compromised, the attacker still needs the second form of identification, which could be a fingerprint, a smart card, or a one-time code that can be sent to the user's phone. This makes it much more difficult for an attacker to gain access. Improved user authentication process. MFA can streamline the user authentication process. While it may seem like MFA will complicate the login process, it can make it easier for users. For example, if a user forgets their password, they can still gain access using their second form of identification. Applying these findings to real-world scenarios involves understanding the unique context of each organization. For instance, a healthcare organization that handles sensitive patient data may need a more robust MFA system than a small business that doesn't handle sensitive information. Organizations should consider factors such as the sensitivity of the data they handle, the size of their user base, and the potential impact of the data breach when deciding on the type of MFA system to implement. They should consider user convenience and the cost of implementation. In conclusion, as the Chief Information Officer of XYZ Corporation, I believe this case actually provides a strong argument for the implementation of MFA. It shows that MFA can enhance security, mitigate risk, and improve user authentication process. But it also emphasizes the importance of considering the unique context of each organization when implementing MFA. Now highlight some of the roles of the Chief Information Security Officer. Um, the Chief Information Security Officer is responsible for an organization's information and data security. Some of their roles include developing and implementing security policies, identifying and mitigating security risks, ensuring that compliance with relevant laws and regulations, and also responding to security incidents. The Chief Information Security Officer also plays a very key role in educating employees about security best practices. So they play a crucial role in the organization, particularly in the context of digital transformation and cybersecurity. On this slide, I will be briefly talking on the importance of communication skill as a Chief Information Security Officer. As a Chief Information Security Officer, effective communication is very crucial, and it's a key thing to have in that role, because in that position you are required to convey the organization's technology strategies to other executives, stakeholders, and employees. And it's also your duty to be able to explain some complex technologies to them, and you break it down to people who have no idea, who are non-technical, so they can still understand what you mean, what your IT initiatives are, the projects you have planned, and how you're going to drive those projects. So it is key to be able to communicate, and to be able to communicate at every level, because in that role you will be communicating in different levels or at different levels, but you should be able to still have everyone understand your goals and be able to be on board, to know what your strategies are, so that the information security will still be safe. On this slide, I highlighted um, an example of a failure in communication and leading to a security breach. So the example here is the Equifax data breach, and it happened in 2017. In this case, there was a failure in communication that led to a massive data breach. The Equifax had they had been alerted to a software vulnerability, but failed to communicate the need for a patch effectively. So because of the delay, as a result, personnel data of 147 million people were exposed. So that is a clear example of a communication failure. And another one is the Target Corporation data breach. That one happened in 2013. And in that case, the company security team, um, they had detected some suspicious activity related to payment system, and they alerted their counterparts, but however, they did not communicate that on time, and as a result, it led to a theft of 40 million credit debit cards on records and a total of 7 million records of personnel data. So this is just to show how crucial communication skill is in that role as a chief information officer or as a chief information security officer. So in conclusion, I would say um, while technical expertise is a crucial aspect of the roles of the CIO or the CISOs, effective communication skills are equally very important in that role. They enable these officers to bridge the gap between technical and non-technical stakeholders, influence decision making, lead teams, manage crises, and promote a culture of security. Thank you all, and I wish everyone best of luck in their future endeavors.